like to roll call, please.
Mr. Wood,
Here.
Mr. Bachman,
Here, let the record show that Mr. Johnson is absent.
he's very sick.
Stephanie's a little under the weather too. She's not gonna be talking very loud. So let's keep that in consideration. Mr. Rowe, you've had an opportunity to review the agenda. Is there anything you wanna change or adjust?
None.
Okay. In light of a concern on resolution 2529 on the excavator, I'd like to go ahead and pull that off the agenda tonight if there's no objection.
No objection.
Okay. With that change, I need a roll call to approve the agenda as amended. Mr. Rowe, how do you vote?
Yes.
I vote yes as well. The agenda stands as amended with the removal of item C. Okay. Fire Department report. Chief Triana, do you have anything for us tonight?
No, nothing really at this time. Just
Okay.
been busy.
All right. Mr. Young did throw a bunch of stuff my way. We had a discussion last meeting about the crack sealer,
Yes.
and the monthly rental for a crack sealer is $4,000, $4,050, I should say, versus a $65,000 piece of equipment that we use 1 or 2 months a year. So it might be more sense to, instead of repairing the crack sealer, just sell it as is broken, and then when we need one, we just go rent it. Steve's discussion with me was that if we buy 2 pallets worth of stuff, which is almost next to nothing, they give it to us for a month.
Yes.
So it might be a good idea to do that, so we're gonna talk about that in the near future. He also gave me 2 estimates on the signs we talked
Talk
about
about it right
2
now if
months
you
ago.
want to.
Okay, yeah. One's from Bain and one's from Judco. The Judco one came in at just over $7,000, and the Bain one came in at $4,453. We already approved it by motion to spend up to $4,000. So I would entertain a motion to allow him to spend up to $4,453.50, amending the previous motion. Would you like to make that
I would
motion?
like to make the motion,
I'll
Mr.
second
Chairman.
it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That motion is passed to go ahead and purchase the flags from Bain, and that includes the reflective signs, the stands, the like 1 lane only, flagger symbol, and be prepared to stop signs. This is based on Ryan's experience with his previous job, and these are the necessary flags that we need to have. Steve gave me a couple street lights that were out.
Can I
Lake Road.
comment on that, Mr. Chairman, just for a second?
Sure.
Steve and Ryan both had mentioned that, they don't have the proper equipment actually even to shut the roads down and stuff.
Right.
They just don't have it.
Which is why we're moving forward with that. The street light at Lake Road in Foreman is out, the street light at State Route 60 and Sperry is out, and I learned today from the Sheriff's Department that the street light on 60 and Portman out here by Get-Go is also out. That one hasn't been called in yet, so we'll have those. Steve also said that they had found the welder. They talked about needing a welder, and they have one at Lowe's for $1,129, or one at Home Depot for $1,154, and they would also need to purchase a cart from $100 to $300. I would say that we should probably make a motion to authorize them to expend up to $1,400.
15, yeah.
Okay, you wanna make the motion to expend $1,400 for
Yes.
tools and equipment?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make the motion that we authorize Steve, the road crew foreman, to spend up to $1,400 for the necessary welder and the cart applicable.
I'll second that. Any other discussion?
None.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that one passes as well. That's all I had from the road department. The township administrator and zoning, I don't have a report from him, and he's not available tonight. So we'll move on to the fiscal officer's report. Mrs. Johnson, if you could, please.
Okay, 2026 temporary appropriations need to be approved and sent to the Erie County Auditor by December 31st, 2025. So business can continue on January 1st, 2026. 2026 temporary appropriations are as follows.
Do you want me to read them for you so you don't have to strain your voice?
Sure, thank
Okay.
you.
Which page am I reading? The color coded one or the big
Just
one?
this one.
Just that one? All right. The appropriation, I've read them already, I'm sure Don has too. Temporary appropriations, Fund 1000 General Fund, $491,266.00. Fund 2011 Motor Vehicle Registration, $130,000.00. 2021 Gas Tax Fund, $205,175.00. Fund 2031 Road and Bridge, $630,735.00. Fund 2111 Fire and EMS Levy, $495,800.00. Fund 2231 Permissive MVL, $30,000.00. Fund 4901 Miscellaneous Capital Projects, $123,372.10. The sum total of appropriations for the first 3 months of 2026 will be $2,106,348.10. Is there any discussion on that?
None.
Chair will entertain a motion to approve the temporary appropriations as stated.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the temporary appropriations as stated.
I will second that motion. Any further discussion?
None.
Stephanie, did you want to add anything?
No, thank you.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And the temporary appropriations are approved.
Thank you.
Anything else on your,
I have the supplemental appropriation list. here
okay,
as
so I
well.
gotta read that one too. All right, the supplemental appropriations, we have 1,800 permanent for additional social security. Where's the fund? Oh, 2011-11-230-212-0000. Account number, am I doing it right? Okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
close enough. It's from, see where it says minus in the second column or second
Yep.
row? It's
From
from supplies and materials to social security.
Okay, so this will be going to 2011-11-230-400-0000 minus $1,800 permanent for additional social security. Next one is account code 2021-330-190-000 minus $1,500 from permanent December OPERS. The next one is 2021-330-211-0000, $1,500 permanent December OPERS. The next one, I'll read the minus one first, is from 2011-11-220-360-0000, minus $1,300 permanent move to salary line items for last payroll of the year, to 2011-220-190-0000, $1,300 permanent move to salary line items for last payroll of the year. The next one is 2011-220-599-0000, minus $3,000 permanent move to salary line items for last payroll of the year, from 2111-230-100-0000, $3,000, also permanent move to salary line items for last payroll of the year. Any further discussion on these items? The chair will entertain a motion to approve these appropriation supplemental.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the appropriation supplemental as stated.
I'll second. Any further discussion?
None.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That one is passed as well.
Thank you.
Anything else, ma'am?
That is all that I have.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't have a copy of resolution 2025-26 for the tree. Do we have that here in the room? Sir?
Oh, I did not bring one. No.
Okay. Well, it's the middle of winter. You want to table it for tonight?
I mean, if we can find it, we can move forward with it. But
Okay. Well, let's put it to the end of the meeting.
Let's do that.
And we'll come back to it. Same thing for the resolution of necessity. I didn't have a copy here with me, so
Okay.
put that to the end and we'll pull those. Cause it wasn't,
Yeah. We can take it.
There is no executive session, correspondence, email from Erie County Prosecutor's Office pending. I did not receive an email from the Erie County Prosecutor's Office, so I don't have that to report on. And the other email was a resignation letter effective 12/31/25 from Renee Ibos from the, Board of Zoning Appeals?
So, yes.
Yes, okay, just making sure. And that's all I have for the correspondences. We'll go now to open the audience, if somebody could reach me the nice green paper over there. Thank you, Chief. First on the list is John Wisniewski, 15711 Darrow Road. John, you got 5 minutes.
Okay. At the November election, the people of Vermilion Township spoke loud and clear that they don't want a mega tax levy. It's very apparent to me that you want a mega tax levy. You're pushing it right now, very quickly.
Okay,
Can you explain anything about that?
I'll let you talk for 5 minutes and then I'll give you an answer, yes.
All right. Have you folks discussed other avenues than a mega tax levy? You did? Well, tell me about it in detail. I'm done.
Okay. The resolution of necessity for an additional 2 mil is sent to the auditor's office, and then the auditor tells us how much money that additional millage would generate. And then the trustees need to figure out whether or not they want to attempt a levy on the ballot. The resolution of necessity, all it does is ask the auditor, if we add 2 mils, how much money does that get us? That's all it does. Then it comes back, they have to do their thing, they give it back to us, and then we decide from that point on, do we want to do that? Are there other avenues, other things that we can do to get funds? There aren't a lot of grants out there in the world, so grants are few and far between. I just sent Chief a thing on $8 million grant that's available for the state. That's $8 million for all the rural departments in the state. You divide that by 88 counties, that's not a very big grant opportunity at all. And Chief, you said that you'd applied for it many times, maybe 4 times over 20 years, actually gotten it.
Right.
So you can't fund a department on $20,000 grants. And like I said, there's not a lot out there. If there are better ways to do this, I would love to do this. I'd love to not have property taxes. But taxes are the necessary evil for us having a society where we have a fire service and EMS service. If we don't have the tax money coming in, we don't have the service. We'll have to make cuts. It's that simple. We can't afford to keep doing what we're doing at the same rate we're doing it. Because as you know, everything in the world costs more today than it did 5 years, 10 years ago. So that's your answer. I hope that covers both.
Not really.
Would I vote for a tax levy? Yes, because I believe in the fire department, I believe in the EMS service, and I do know that EMS equipment and fire equipment costs a lot of money. And the other townships in this county don't have the services that we have. They don't have the equipment or the personnel. And that's why a lot of those townships want to combine, because they don't not only have it, they want to be able to not be able to pay for it. That's why there's a big talk about regionalization. So,
You're against that?
what's that?
You're against that?
Regionalization? Absolutely. If you provide the best service, why would you want to take on additional responsibilities? Why would I want my tax dollars in this township to pay for the services to other townships? I think we should pay our tax dollars into this township and provide the services to just this township. So yeah, totally against regionalization. So with that, I'm going to move on. Next person on the list is Ken Birkins, 6715 West Lake Road. Ken.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that. I have two quick issues to go over. The first has to do with systemic issues as far as these meetings. I'm wondering, I'm going to suggest that the public comment section of these meetings be put more in the beginning so that people who feel passionate about an item coming before the trustees for vote would be able to express their opinion and possibly impact what the trustees feel about any given issue. Having that down the list, I think, is a little bit more of a problem, and I think it provides a little bit more transparency as far as what the electorate is actually feeling. The second item pertains, and I'm kind of glad that pertains to this excavator. $202,000 for an excavator for this township seems to be a little bit extreme in my opinion. Some of the questions I think that you folks would need to be addressing is how many miles of roads and ditches, do we basically have the responsibility for the purpose of an excavator, and how many hours per month on average would be used for that excavator. Those are two very key items to come to a rational business decision about the acquisition of a piece of equipment of that expense. Secondly, I'm not sure if you're aware, but the Blue Ribbon report from Erie County had provided the facility that a township within the county can borrow any piece of equipment that Erie County has. Erie County has excavators. That's one item. The other issue is whether or not we purchase something or we rent it. And then that gets back to the hours of use as far as the utility of the funds being used rather than a purchase of over $200,000 for that kind of gear. Just FYI, the trend of on surrounding areas, the city of Vermilion they bought mini excavators. They bought one in 2021. They spent $69,000 for it. Berlin just recently purchased a mini as well. I don't know at what price, but I'm big on consolidating. I'm big on talking to some other entities. I mean, if you have an expensive piece of equipment that everybody needs and it's only being used 20% of the time in each municipality, it doesn't make sense. Share it. Let's get that kind of conversation going with the rest of the local communities. And the other thing is, as far as the if you're going to rent, it's my understanding we have a lot of money in the bank and we're generating interest. And you just made a previous comment about one of the other resolutions about the advantage of renting as opposed to buying. Well, $200,000 is a huge proposition for this township. I'm not going to speak to what that gentleman had to say about his concerns, but as far as the costs and subsidizing other departments, but there's an area we're going to spend $200,000 on an excavator that I don't know what we need, but it's incumbent upon you folks to tell us, what kind of utilization is going to be used, how many hours per month, and that kind of stuff. How many miles of roads in the township, that kind of stuff. So I appreciate your hearing me out, and I hope that those comments get passed on to who's ever responsible for the acquisition of this gear.
The acquisition would be the board of trustees. I do know.
Well,
that-
I'm sorry, I meant the research.
Yes.
The research to get you folks the information.
Steve and Ryan are
Yeah.
the road guys. They're the only two road guys we have.
Okay,
And yes, we do borrow equipment from the county, and the county borrows equipment from us all the time.
there you have it.
The trouble with an excavator is when you wanna borrow it, they're probably using it in that same day. If it's a nice, warm, sunny day, they're gonna go out and use their excavator, and we're not gonna be able to use it on a nice, warm, sunny day.
Well,
On a
perhaps-
rainy day when it's sitting there, of course it's gonna sit there, cause it's
Yeah.
a rainy day, you can't clean
Yeah.
ditches. So, my concern on the excavator originally was that we would use it enough, and after talking with Steve, I'm convinced that yes, we would indeed use it enough. And then if we had it, we could of course let it be borrowed out in exchange for some other borrowing back and forth. So, I think it's necessary, but I do agree that I would like to know, you made the very good point of how many days a year you're gonna use it. When we talked about the crack sealer, they said they only use it about 1 month out of the year. So $65,000 piece of equipment, probably a lot more than that. When they bought it, it was 65. So renting it for a month for $4,000 makes sense. But I also know with a mini excavator in my personal life, I rented a mini excavator for 1 week for $4,000. So if you wanna borrow a mini excavator from like Sunbelt Rentals or someplace like that, you're gonna spend a good chunk of change, not nowhere near 202. But the mini excavator also had multiple buckets and included the trailer. So it wasn't just,
Understand.
it wasn't just the excavator, it was everything that goes with it.
And it was also GPS that was on
Yeah,
it too.
and that's,
So,
the way that system
Yeah.
was explained to me was,
Saves a man,
yeah, it's a big thing. So,
saves a third man.
yeah, it saves us a third man is what Don just said. Because when it digs, the machine stops, the GPS stops you from digging in the wrong place or the
Right.
wrong depth.
I understand that. Do you know how many miles of roads that we have here in the township?
Off the top of my head, I wanna say 29.3. 23.5. Okay, so.
The
and-
city, just FYI, the city has 88 miles of roads and they're using a mini excavator to handle as well as all of their water issues and
And
all
on
that kind of
those,
stuff.
to add fuel to that, all the roads are not our responsibility. The state routes are the route's responsibility, the county roads are the county's responsibility. and we only have direct maintenance over the county and township roads for ditches, which is where you use an excavator just to clean out the ditches. One of the things I've heard probably for 5 years now is, how come my ditches aren't cleaned out? One of the reasons is because we don't have the right piece of equipment available when we need it to clean out ditches. So this would help solve a lot of drainage problems by cleaning ditches out all the time.
Is there ever an emergency ditch digging requirement?
Yes. Yes, when something gets clogged up
Okay.
and they have to dig it out to stop the road from flooding, it does happen.
Is that typical?
Typical, no.
Okay.
Emergencies aren't typical.
Yeah.
Don, did you want to chime in on something?
I
here?
do just a couple of things, is that, Steve and Ryan are in our road crew, and through the chair.
Sure.
The cost of the excavator, and they have relayed to us that they need it, so we rely on them for their input. So in their explanation in the last, and I asked Steve at the last township trustee meeting, what do you feel, Steve? You're the road crew foreman. So Steve went into a very long, detailed explanation of why they need that excavator. And he referred to a lot of the ditches that have to be serviced, they do not have the equipment to service it. And then he gave an example of, the ditch that they just did on Holiday Drive. I think I have that correct,
Holiday
right?
Drive.
Holiday Drive. That saved the township $10,000 because that piece of equipment can do that. So the cost of the excavator is, you gotta forgive me as far as the actual numbers, but I think it's 170 some odd thousand. The trailer's added to that.
Right.
So the cost savings that we saved by using that excavator on Holiday Drive was $10,000. It doesn't take a whole lot of ditch clearing, which we have several, to where that excavator will pay for itself. And I don't think anyone can argue with our road crew foreman. And that's his explanation, and that's it. And then I know a bit about him myself. The GPS and that, it's an absolute amazing thing, that it actually saves a man head. So you don't have to have 3 people on a job site where you normally would, where somebody's holding and saying, this and that. The GPS does it for you, so that third man is out. So there's a lot of cost savings that's in that people may not understand. But, and I appreciate your comment on the concerns.
I would also bring up that the backhoe that we have, which currently we used to do, is a 26-year-old piece of equipment that would be sold and retired. So that would offset some of those costs. But it's old, it's rusty, it leaks, is what I'm told when I ask about the backhoe. So this is just, we've got a 26-year-old piece of equipment, and we need to replace it.
Well, the bottom line, it's a $200,000 expenditure, that's taxpayer money, and, I mean, if a piece of equipment is used 25% of the time, there's other options that really should be considered, that's what I'm saying.
I would agree with
If
that.
I was running my own business on that, I would be looking at that very, very intensively.
All right. Thanks, sir.
Sure.
We'll move on. Next one on the list is Tom Kukemeyer, 124 Grand Harbor. Mr. Kukemeyer.
Thank you. Just 2 quick things. The tree thing there, I thought we were gonna get more bids on the tree thing.
That's what I thought too, and I
Yeah.
didn't see two. I was told there was at least one more,
Okay.
So because we don't have that,
Making
I
sure
don't have
Mr.
it.
Johnson said he'd like to see,
and obviously
and
he's not here to bring it,
and
so
I know,
that's why it's
just
set
the
aside.
resolution looked to me like you were gonna maybe move on it, but.
We try to
okay.
draft the resolutions in advance.
Okay,
So that
gotcha,
if we
gotcha.
approve it, they're good to go. Second thing,
The
sir.
second item is, I get the excavator thing, I get it. I mean, I know Steve, he's a great guy, great foreman. I mean, I run equipment, I like nice equipment, it's nice to have the best of the best. I'm just asking to really look at all the options, maybe 1 or 2 more times, because that's a lot of money. I mean, I'd rather see some of that money go to the fire department.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Can't do it, okay.
Nope.
All right, well, let's rent it for a little bit, just see how it goes. I'm just saying that's a lot of money. I concur with everything that was said, and I just so you guys really take a hard look at it and visit it and look at all the options. I get it, I know it's tough. I do know though, I mean, I hate to say Steve like I'm his father, no, I'm not buying another nice four-wheeler. You know, it's a tough thing to say to somebody, but, and he's done a great job with that backhoe. I mean, phenomenal for all these years. So, you know, maybe there's rent it for, you can rent one of those things for about,
$4,000 a week.
is it? I thought it was maybe $4,000 a month. A month is what I looked up.
Then I must have got a really bad deal when I did it.
Yeah, you might have. But no, I'm just saying, so you get it for a month, you go around, you know all the hot spots, the places you've had trouble with, like Holiday that Mr. Rowe mentioned. You clean those up, you do it, you know, work ahead, try to maintain it. That's all
I do know that on that quote, that was at the state prescribed price or the state minimum price.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we just went to some tractor dealer somewhere. The way Joe explained it to me, and catch me if I'm wrong here, Don,
Yeah.
is you tell them through the source well, you tell them what you want, and then they tell you where you gotta go buy it and how much you're going to pay. And it's a set state price.
Okay.
So,
well, it's a lot of money.
it's,
That's
yeah,
all.
it's,
You know.
everything costs more.
Right.
Wait, excuse me, the state controls your purchasing?
If we buy through the state program to get the special price, that 202 is the special price.
Okay, so is it possible that the special price
Is that
is still too high?
Of course it is,
Okay,
so.
okay.
Moving on, next on the list is Dan Ladridge, 3319 Route 60. Dan?
I need extra minutes just to get there, you
I
know?
understand, sir.
Do you want me to move the?
Oh, you're fine.
No, this is going into conversation now.
Oh, boy.
Okay, guys. As most of you know, I haven't been here for a while. I've been terribly sick, almost died,
Good to see you.
and I've got people like Stephanie and Kurt and you guys up front, and a bunch of the people out here are checking on me, making sure I'm doing okay. And it's been a loving situation. So, the wife's not doing good, with her MS, she has something going on. So it's always something, just don't get old, people, it gets worse. So, couple things I'd like to discuss, cause I've had to read the newspaper to see what's going on and listen to what people are saying. And the only thing I can say when it comes to what's going on in the township, and a lot of people know I'm the third generation living out here, and we take and respect this place and love this place. They call me the mayor of Axtell because my dad was born there, and the older guy that used to be called that passed away. So I love this township. So I'm asking the people that get up here and say the things that they say and demand the things that they demand, would please look and get some more information on both sides of the coin. You hear it one-sided, you hear some nasty things said about people that in this township, and it's not right. You know, not everybody is perfect in this world. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've heard a lot of things have been said about some of the guys that work here and so forth. But if they don't love this place to work here, why would they be working here? So that's the things I want to say about the information. And I wish the information would be better put in the newspaper and more honest and not one-sided. If they're going to be one-sided, put my opinion in there, not this is what's going on. And I have a thing here tonight, and since I've been so sick, I've been doing things that I haven't done in a long time, like going through my closet and stuff. You would not believe the junk we've acquired. Anybody needs big clothes, I've lost 54 pounds in 2.5 months. So I go from a double extra shirt, I don't even know yet, I have to go shopping, but I'm probably to a small or medium. I got all kinds of shirts. This hat, I remember when we had a problem that went on about boxing, and I got up and I explained to people that I worked for Ed Schumann from the time I was 14 till I was 18 in a gas station, and he taught me how to box. He was flotilla champion of the Pacific during World War II, and that's what the Navy people did for entertainment on their ships. It was box. He had a brother. His name was Robert Schumann. And they both treated me like secondary fathers. They just, I don't know what it was. I think it's because I was so cute. I don't know. But the things that went on, and the Robert Schumann, anybody old enough to remember the cowboy movies back in the 50s and the 60s? They always had somebody playing the piano when they would walk in the bar. That was Robert Schumann. And before he passed away, he did not have any kids. He gave me this hat to remember him by. So I have kept this hat in a box, and of course you have to store them like that, upside down. You don't dare put them this way. And this is what he gave me, and I've kept it for all these years in a box. So I thought, you know, that's nice entertainment for people here. Make them laugh. My grandmother used to play the piano at the silent movies and sing. That's what she did. I was raised with a grand piano in my living room, so everybody thought I'd become a pianist, but I didn't. I just couldn't read music for some unknown reason. So I brought this. I said it might be nice to show people what really happened back in the 50s and the 60s. And with that, I love everybody. And I will tell you again, I have died twice. I died once in the helicopter. I died before then, and then I died this last time. I was almost near death. My lungs had filled with water to a point it was pushing my heart, and I have been told point blank by the heart doctor, if I catch anything that bad again, I will not make it because my heart is so it's just not working properly. But in my deaths, both times, I'm going to tell you the truth, I have made it to heaven with the angels. And it's the most beautiful thing you ever want to see and how you feel. And they're just going like this, and you're going towards the angels. And you're just floating, and it's so gorgeous in heaven. The first time an angel stepped out, and it was my dad, and said, son, it's not your time, go back. The second time I died, I was going towards the angels, and I don't know who said it, I don't know if it was God or Jesus said, you're going back and teach the world to love everyone. So I'm asking everybody in this township, please start loving and caring for everybody and quit yakking about and saying nasty things about them. And if you don't like what they're saying, work with them instead of saying nasty things. With that, I say amen.
Amen.
Thank you. That's all I have for the public participation.
I know everybody loves me. I get more hugs than you can bring in. You lose it.
We're gonna move on to new and old business. Don, did you want to talk about the cameras tonight? That's the first one on the thing.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on members.
I'll talk briefly about it. We have the estimates from Advanced Business Machine. And then I think it was on Monday, a very nice gentleman, his name was Brian Jankowski, who owns BCT Alarm Systems Incorporated, said that he was told by a resident that we were taking estimates to do necessary work. And our feeling as trustees is everybody should have an opportunity to competitively bid with estimates for any work that we need to have done. So we showed him around, Joe did, and I was here when that actually happened and showed him. And Joe had told me today that he had gotten his estimate now, so we'll look at those estimates and then make a decision from there.
All right, next was new business discussion of the plot committee. We met here last week. We covered some training on the do's and don'ts on zoning, BZA, and zoning commission, and we had a discussion on the necessary for an affirmative majority of board members. The BZA and the zoning commission both have 5 members, and there is case law that if and this is the easiest way I can explain it. If you have 3 members show up out of 5, 2 vote yes and 1 votes no, that's not a majority of the board, and cases have been lost. What we don't have in our zoning code is a sentence that says you must have 3 affirmative votes from these boards. So after discussion in the committee, Robert Jocelyn, the chair of the zoning commission, is going to take it upon by their motion. They can do it directly, or we can send them a resolution. But he agreed that it was something that probably needs to be changed in the zoning code. So they're going to take it to the zoning commission, have the zoning commission discuss it, debate it, and then if necessary, which we think it is, they'll change the language that will require for a BZA hearing or a zoning commission change to require 3 yes votes instead of just a simple majority. And that's based on some of the case law that we saw. So that's really all I've got out of that committee. We did discuss the personnel policy or personnel evaluation forms just briefly, and it was a very productive meeting. So next item, new business, is motion to adopt standardized personnel evaluation form, review form TF 201E for employees. One of the things that came out of the last audit was whether or not we do employee evaluations on an annual basis. We pulled some boilerplate language off the internet and different sources and came up with a 3-page form that every employee will be evaluated on. They'll all be evaluated on the same criteria. We won't evaluate one way and another way. So with that, the chair would entertain a motion to approve this evaluation form, which I'm pretty sure you've seen, right?
Yes. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to adopt the standardized personal evaluation review form TF 201-E for employees.
Second that motion. Any further discussion?
None.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, that's approved, and we'll start doing evaluations on a standardized form. New business interim appointment of zoning commission. Motion to appoint alternate Mr. Eric J. John to Ms. Renee Ibos's unexpired term. I'm gonna go ahead and make that motion.
Oh.
He is the alternate,
Yep.
he's in place, and if they need him, he's already
Yep.
versed on our stuff, so. Is there a second for that motion?
There is a second.
Any discussion on making Mr. J. John the member for the remaining portion of Renee's term?
No, Mr. Chairman, other than the fact that Eric J. John, I believe, is pretty close to being an alternate on the board now for 2 years, so.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, no further discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Mr. J. John is now the regular member. Next one is new business discussion of the 2026 appropriations. We've already done that through Stephanie's report, so we don't need to go into that. We need to have a discussion about the Delta dental rate increase that went up 8%. Stephanie, do we need a motion to approve the additional?
Yes,
The chair will entertain a motion to approve the 8% increase of Delta Dental's dental insurance.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the 8% Delta dental rate increase.
I'll second that. Any other discussion?
None.
8%. I understand, well, go ahead and call it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. I understand that they help.
8% is not small either.
No, their email said small, 8% isn't. Stephanie, am I correct in understanding that the health insurance has gone up significantly more than that as well? And that will have to be adjusted next year?
we won't know until May.
Okay, in May we'll find out? Okay, I thought it was anticipated to go up.
I anticipated it.
Okay.
I just figured that into appropriations just to be
Gotcha.
safe.
I
We
understand.
won't know until May.
Alright, let's see. I'm gonna skip G and go to H. New business, motion to approve holiday pay for the dates of 26 December 2025 and 2 January 2026 for both road department employees on the condition that weather conditions permit it in accordance with ORC section 505.05. These dates are both Fridays. It seems to me that if we want to take care of our people, one of the ways to make it a nice long weekend, instead of upping their pay or giving them some sort of cash bonus, let's just give them a paid holiday. So the chair will entertain a motion to approve holiday pay for the 26th of December 2025 and the 2nd of January 2026 for the 2 road department employees.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the holiday pay for the dates of December 26, 2025 and January 2nd, 2026 for both road department employees.
with weather
with
conditions.
weather condition permitted,
In other words, if they gotta show up and plow snow, they don't get the
they
holiday
don't get
pay.
the holiday.
Okay. This was the easiest way to do this for the fiscal officer,
Yeah.
the cleanest way, so this is why we chose to invoke 505.05. Any further discussion?
Let me get a second.
Oh, I'll second it, sorry.
No.
All right, without further discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's pretty easy when there's just two of us. The last one was the discussion of the November 19th, 2025 meeting. There was supposed to be an email. Did you get anything from the prosecutor's office, Don, or?
No.
Okay. Well, we will put that to January when we have a full board sitting here in front of us with the new trustee. I was hoping Mr. Sexton was gonna be in the audience, because I was gonna ask him if he wanted to sit down before he takes office to get his OTARMA or OTA membership set up and figure out if he's got his oath of office done, because I know he went to the county meeting. Do you know if you've received that from him yet?
I asked him, I didn't hear back.
Okay, because he's gotta have that to sit in the chair. That's the law. So, if there's nothing else to come,
Under new business.
none of new business, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, today is trustee Kurt Johnson's last meeting. Barring any special executive sessions, I'm gonna bring it up now. And I would like to speak to you, the chair, and the members of the audience through the chair. The talents that trustee Johnson brought to the Board of Trustees, being a business owner for 30+ years and working with the government, greatly helped the Board of Trustees. But one of his talents that I thought impressed me the most was his love for the township and its residents. That love for the township and the residents was at the center of every decision that Kurt Johnson made. And when decisions were made, that was the first thing that he talked about. How is this going to affect the township and its residents? And he will be missed by the trustee board with his talent. And I would like to publicly say to Kurt Johnson, I appreciate your effort and your service to the township of Vermilion.
I would echo that sentiment as well. See what you're missing? He's homesick, honest to God. He's very, very ill. And she's not much better, so I want to get her out of here in time. But Kurt did not know he was going to be trustee when we voted him to fill the appointment. It was as much a shock to him as it was to everybody else in the audience. And in those 7 months, he has served with honor, and he has served faithfully. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna miss him, and I hope the next guy can at least fill his shoes.
Yes.
Hopefully the next guy will do even better, because that's the goal, is every trustee should be made better by the next guy. So with that said,
It was my pleasure, Mr. Chairman, working with Kurt Johnson as trustee.
yeah, he was the balance to our often arguments, I think, so. With that said, is there anything else on new business?
No.
Okay, we're gonna go to.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
the minutes from
Oh, we did not approve the minutes, we skipped that.
December 3rd.
12/3
12/3.
minutes, please.
Mr. Rowe, you've had the opportunity to review the minutes. Was there any changes, additions, deletions?
None.
Hearing none, the minutes will stand as written and approved. That help it?
Yes, thank you.
Incidental business, the announcement of the Board of Trustees Annual Organizational Meeting. This will be held at 5 p.m. on Friday, January 2nd, 2026. This is where the fiscal officer gets to sit up here and take the votes. Then we go into an executive session and figure out what we're gonna do for the coming year, set and establish rules. It will not be like a regular business meeting. It'll just be us formulating the board for the coming year. There probably will not be an open to the audience portion of that, but I'm sure the trustees would be willing to listen to anybody that came and wanted to talk afterwards. The next following meeting is January 7th, 6:30 p.m. That will be the first meeting of the year like this. So that's the next meeting. Also, as an advance notice, the trustees will be meeting on Tuesday, 3 February 2026 instead of 4 February 26 due to the Ohio Township Association Winter Conference which is scheduled that Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, which basically means we can't be here because we're all out of town. With that, is there anything else to come before the board? If there's,
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, we talked about Hill Truck, the change in price for Hill Truck.
oh, right. I did forget, that's a late edition, so. We had a repair done,
Electrical repair.
yeah, and then they found an additional,
Knox sensor, I think.
Knox sensor bad after original repairs. And that repair cost $2,636.47. Fiscal officer needs a motion to approve the expense of $2,636.47 for squad 812. Mr. Rowe, would you like to make that motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion, to approve the repairs of squad, what was the squad number?
812?
812. In the amount of $2,636.47.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, I will second that. Is there any further discussion?
None.
Chief, did you want to throw a comment on this at all, or?
Yeah, we sent the truck over originally to have it evaluated and checked out, and that original was voted on by the board to pay $6,600 and some dollars. Put the truck all back together, put it back on the computer. The oxygen sensor, showed up as being bad, so that had to be replaced as well, so that was the additional charges.
Okay, we've just approved them, and it's back in service now, we've got it?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, there you go. Is that anything else?
That's it, thank you.
If there is no objection, the chair declares this meeting stands adjourned at
Excuse me?
7:18.
I forgot one thing,
Well,
and this is very important to everybody.
Yes, sir.
If your garage door fails and you need somebody, do not call Ohio Garage Services. I ended up looking it up because everybody that knew somebody, they were so busy. I looked it up, it had CDs, I said, okay, they